Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is December 8th, 2021. It's a beautiful day here in the States. Welcome to another episode of the Kraken Cryptocurrency Show. As always, I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at KrakenCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day today. It is an excellent day out here in the markets. We've got, again, kind of continuing on in our trend of altcoins recovering off of the bottom. Some coins continuing on in their momentum from their kind of baseline bounces, if they were reversal baseline bounces, then some coins heading up toward their potential reversal baseline rejections. Bitcoin still on track for the bottom feeder signal. Today we are forming a doji, almost a hammer doji, actually. Interesting after a little pullback, but again, bears not able to continue to push price down. We've already got price bidded back up almost to the open on today's close. I'm actually kind of looking for a green close today, but a red close of this nature wouldn't be necessarily too terrible. Relatively low volume on the daily candle as well. So we'll break that all down as well as go over a few indicators and strategies in today's video. Take your guys' requests and just overall talk about what's going on in the markets. I want to thank you guys for viewing the show. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure it incentivizes me to continue making it and knows that I'm doing a good job. So with that being said, let's give a quick shout out to the individuals in the chat. I see Ron Legato, Jordan Stotts, we've got Andrew Munz, Cavano Trades, Fifth Ronin. Let's see, do we got anybody else? Okay, I think that covers the early comers for the show. Let's get over into the live scene. All right, here we are in the live scene as always. Let's jump right into Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, as I kind of pointed out, let's just zoom in here. Bitcoin forming this daily doji with a long wick to the downside and a small wick to the upside. If that long wick to the upside was not there, this would be a classic hammer candle. We almost see one here. This one is nearly perfect with almost very little tail or wick to the upside, usually considered a reversal candle, particularly a green one. I've talked about this. I talked about this just a few days ago, where you can actually see these doji hammer candles occur during an uptrend. However, that specifically, I was talking about the case where price is on the upside of the baseline, and which is indicative of a bullish trend continuation. So you can often see trends continue on in that fashion with those hammer formations or with those doji formations. Here we got a little bit of a different story. Here we're kind of coming up off the bottom. What I think today's candle just represents is that individuals who got in on these low prices are taking opportunities to take profits, and individuals that are trying to jump into shorts early are also getting in at this phase. Let's bring up a bottom feeder, let you guys know what the current position is. We are still on track. So we are no longer getting a bottom feeder signal. So I would assume that these four signals are likely it. This did indicate a 4x position. So entry here, entry here, entry here, entry here. So we're going to have an average entry. Well, we can actually estimate that. We're going to have an average entry of around 49,900. So we're right at break even on that long position right now. And again, just looking for that movement off the bottom of about 10% up to that 54,542 level. Stop loss at 44,754. So that's the current long position on BTC. Let's go over to, I want to check the Discord right here and see what signals are coming in. Okay. Yep, we have not. Let's actually go over here. We'll just double check with the strategy. All right, here we are on the 3 hour. I do have different a different iteration of this going into the Discord. So for the members that are wanting to take these, so currently I have the super duper DEMA strategy going into the Discord on the 3 hour time frame for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Quick update: I'm almost hopefully I've almost figured it out. How to actually get all this, how to get the automated trading system working with regards to the sheets, so we can have the trade logging for the members as well. As you guys know, we have all our strategies that post to our Google Sheets, our Google spreadsheets, so we can monitor everything involving not only just the performance of the current trade and summarize the closed trade results, but then we've also got a relatively complicated trading journal that takes into account things like actual USD value and changes in account size and ROI, risk, return, all of these metrics that are very important for a trader to have and build on as they continue on in their trading journey and experience. So right now, we just have the signals for this particular strategy going into the Discord. The bottom feeder automated strategy, as you guys know, also goes into the sheets for live tracking. So I've almost got that figured out. So now we'll have, and once I have that figured out too, the formatting in the rich embed will actually be nicer as it goes into the Discord as well. And the signals will be easier to follow as far as open and close. What I am going to be doing is splitting the channels. So I won't just be having the BTC and Ethereum channels as I originally thought. It's going to be easier for me, although, I mean, honestly, it's a little bit more work setting it up like this. But I think it's going to be better for the members and better for the tracking. Because as we've discovered, the risk for long positions and the risk for short positions is usually not the same. So if you test a strategy, you'll often find out that it would have been beneficial to take a less or more risk on the shorts, usually less, and more or less risk on the longs, usually more. Is that a symptom of being in the longest, in one of the wildest 8-year bull markets of all time? Possibly. However, it is what it is. So I'm going to be creating a BTC longs and a BTC shorts channel, an Ethereum longs and an Ethereum shorts channel. And then I'll also have, again, as I talked about, as we kind of move further with this automated trading journey, the top 30 small caps as well. So different strategies for both longs and shorts. Most likely sticking to, actually what I think is probably the better thing to do is have the BTC and ETH longs and shorts. And then I'll have a Bybit channel that will just be monitoring the USDT pairs. I think that's probably the best way to go about doing it. Let me know your guys' comments. Put them in the suggestion box in the Discord, or let me know here in the chat kind of what you think, how you would like to see the signal structured. So, but there's going to be a bunch of them. There's never going to be a dull time in the moment. There's going to be tons of signals for anybody who wants to hop in and take those trades from these verified systems. So, also show you guys a system that I've been experimenting with. I've actually taken 2 day trades today on BTC. I'm currently out because the market began to move quite slowly, but we'll go over that here in just a moment. Pretty neat little strategy, and I'm actually working on automating it right now. It does run on the 5-minute time frame, although you can trade it on any time frame that you want, on any asset that you want. But we'll go over that here in just a little bit for those of you guys who want a little taste of the day trading scalping. All right. Let's see here. Shout outs to Cornholio. Kamano Trades thought I was wearing a black apron for a second. Crypto Caveman, good to see you in the chat, my friend. Shout outs to Mr. Ether. We've got Right on Rice in here. Stenley, Crypto Bull, Gravy Grits and Green. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Okay. So as I was saying, the 3-hour super duper DEMA system did enter into the short at the open of this candle. So we were short from 55,024. The way that this strategy is working is it is taking off the position at a predetermined take profit. I found that was the easiest thing to do. To beam those signals into the Discord. So those take profits are going to serve as a recommendation for individuals. And then when we actually get this thing set up so that people can be, when people can be trading their accounts with it, they can make whatever adjustments they want to the take profit settings. So in general, you are going to make more money. The net profitability of this strategy and most strategies for trend following are going to be much higher if you, instead of just taking all your profits at a predetermined take profit level, if you actually just let the trend evolve and you use some exit system to exit the trade. In this case, since we're utilizing the double exponential moving average and the super trend indicator, the exit signal is going to be when price crosses above the super trend ATR level. However, there is a downside to that. You are going to generally move your percent profitability. So this is your hit rate. This is the number of winning trades that you have. You're typically going to move that down quite a bit, right? So if you are taking your profits at a predetermined level, over the long run, you will make less money, but you will win more often. And I often find that that's very important, especially for beginner traders, because it helps them have the confidence in their system. So once they've seen the system make money or be profitable consistently, even if it's not as much money as they kind of had wanted or would have anticipated, what they can then do is they can start to understand how a strategy works, what the long game means when it comes to trading a strategy, that if you consistently execute this strategy, these are the returns you're going to get. And then that gives them the confidence to take what might be considered a more risky approach by reducing their percent profitability and increasing their net profitability over time. So we do not actually have the exit signal yet on the 3-hour system, so we are still in a short on the 3-hour system. So again, this is going to be the meso timeframes and primary shorts that we had discussed earlier. Getting back over here to the BTC chart, still in the primary short that we had entered into, or hedge that we had entered into back in this area over here. And that position will remain open. It should have been entered on the close of this candle right here, the last one. For me, I actually ended up entering here, and then I did not exit on these baseline crossovers and held the position throughout this chop. I did close the trade signal short because that did hit TP1 and move back to break even, but on my personal account, I did hold that trade open. So still short in the primary sense. Long as well on the USDT markets. So I am short on the BTC USD perpetual markets, long on the USDT markets for this trade to the upside. And then I actually spun up the day trading account to be experimenting with this lower time frame strategy that I'll show you guys here in a little bit. So let's go to the weekly chart here. Now, the weekly interpretation is a possible reversal baseline bounce on the weekly time frame. We did come down here and wick off the support level of our baseline, just as on the collapse back in May when we had that 50% correction. We did consolidate directly above the baseline and maintain that weekly trend. Now, we did actually make, what's interesting to note here, is that we did actually make a higher weekly low on that movement to the downside. If that low, so what we need now is we need this candle to have a higher close, and this could be considered a swing low. Swing low is a low that is preceded by a higher low and followed by a higher low. So we do have a higher low on the preceding weekly candle, and we currently have a higher low on the following weekly candle. So if we can maintain this structure, this candle could be considered a swing low, and this actually could be considered the weekly bottom of the market if we are going to continue on the upside here. Now, let's see here. So that is, again, that's one possible weekly interpretation. So it just depends on how you're viewing the charts and how you're trading the charts. We do have, again, I remember quite distinctly, Joe talking in this previous mentoring session. And again, shout outs to you guys. We have a mentoring session today, a little bit after the show, about an hour after the show or so. Invites have already been sent out via the normal fashion. So make sure to check your emails that you have on file for that invitation link so you guys can come to the mentoring session. Yeah, so only trading in the direction of the weekly trend. In this situation, we do see that not only is the weekly baseline below price, which indicates a bullish trend, but it is also angling up. So that is another way to trade, to utilize baselines for trend confirmation, is simply what direction is the current baseline value higher than the previous baseline value. That's the simple equation for whether the baseline is angling up or angling down. And if it's lower, so if and you can see this too if you open up the data window and you can go in and actually look at the value of the baseline or whatever moving average you're using or whatever line or level you're using, you can see what its value is. As we can see, its current value is 41,851, and last week it was at 41,468. So that is a 400% increase. And so that is the definition of moving up. Okay. So let's talk about that. If we were to break, so what are potential downside targets if we do continue in this slump? We are looking at going back down and retesting that baseline. So another 14% to 15% correction on BTC USD if the daily chart does play out. Alternatively, where is overhead resistance currently at this point in time? Overhead resistance is all the way back up at 61,854 on the weekly time frame. Should we break that, we'll be breaking the volume weighted average price on the weekly time frame, and I would expect higher highs. I would actually expect higher highs if we're able to get back above the daily baseline, which is angling down right now. So we can open up the data window and we can see what is the value of the current baseline. We can see that it's at 56,660, and last week it was at 56,864. So that's a decline of about 204 dollars, because the moving average is just going to be a moving average of price, so of closing price, or depending on how you set it, you could be HL2, OHLC4, HLC3, however you guys have it custom. But most individuals are going to be using closing price. All right. B-Flow, yes, the 5-minute strategy that I mentioned earlier is the one that I'm going to talk about today. Right on Rice, it's always a great day with CC. We've got requests from Anthony Cox and Charlotte Kennedy for KDA, Link, VOH, and FYI. FYI is a hell of a ticker, unless you're just saying VOH for your information. If we get the time, we will absolutely look at those. Let's see. Actually, let me drop those in a notepad. Otherwise, I am likely to forget about them. Kadena, Link, VOH, FYI. And a request for Cosmos. Okay. And a request for MATIC. All right. Okay. All right. So how are altcoins responding to BTC moving relatively sluggish here? Well, I'd say they're responding relatively well. We can look up here at Crypto Bubbles. And we can see that we've got some big movers for the day. MATIC, HT, Hypertoken, EOS, AMP, NEAR, continuing on its tear. WEMAX, WAXP's kind of been up and down. DFI, Link, NEM, the ZEM protocol. XRP actually making a little bit of a move today. Dash and GRT. So some coins that were slow to move over the last few days, Dash, GRT, XRP, ZEM, are actually starting to wake up and make their move. We even see Monero up there a little bit today on today's daily candle. So not bad to see. The ones that had been relatively performing well, XTZ continuing on its tear, NEAR protocol continuing on its tear, MATIC as well. Link, XRD, which was up yesterday, is down today as well, and BSV ended up yesterday not doing much of anything. Pumped back up to the baseline, up about 50% on BSV, and it seems like it is stalling out. We'll take a closer look at that here in just a second. So again, overall, altcoins are responding well. I'm still relatively hesitant about this area of the market. I'm relatively bearish that we are going to make lower lows, just based on a lot of things. I've really been thinking a lot about Tether, and I know that that's just kind of this Tether FUD that continues to roll over the space. But we're seeing regulation really start to ramp up, and one possible interpretation. Thank you, Andrew Munz. Highly appreciate that, man. One possible interpretation of all this is that the walls are closing in on Tether, and just remember that this is a ticking time bomb that's underlying the entire space. If dollars are no longer able to be redeemed for tethers, or tethers are no longer able to be redeemed for dollars, and there's a sudden run on the Tether bank, then we're going to, it's not just like $69 billion. Coming off of this $2.2 trillion market cap for the entire crypto market. The US dollar Tether is the primary liquidity pair for most trading pairs in cryptocurrency. So it's gonna hurt massively. It's gonna be a huge blow to stablecoin farming. It's going to be a huge blow to decentralized protocols that are utilizing swap and US dollar Tether as their reserve currency or as their exchange currency. It's going to be a huge drop to liquidity on exchanges. You're going to see flash crashes in just about every pair out there. And I really do think that is almost bound to happen at any point in time. Or not at any, excuse me. I do truly believe that is bound to happen at some point in time. Will cryptocurrency survive after that? Absolutely. Is it going to be a great cleansing like we seem to have every few years? Absolutely. It's almost like we have little mini .com bubbles like every 2 years in cryptocurrency where something happens that causes the price to drop and bad projects are weeded out and outcompeted and all that capital sloshes into the good projects. And then we emerge from the bear market and then we roar off into the bull market. So let's talk about market phase. Where are we currently at with this market phase? Well, we're relatively late into this bull market. This bull market has been going on for quite a while. So we're already getting to kind of that time area. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of metrics that suggest that we're not quite there yet. Looking over at Glassnode's metrics like MVRV, or HODL bands, or all these kinds of things. The MVP signal. Just to mention a few. None of those have quite topped out yet, and given the very clean signals that indicate that we're really getting close to or near the top of the bull market, those indicators tend to suggest that we have a bit of ways. This also aligns pretty well with, of course, the common philosophy in the stock to flow ratio model, or the stock to flow model, that indicates that we are going to be hitting 100,000. So there is, obviously there is a bullish case here to be made. But, I like to be, I'm feeling relatively conservative here, right? This has been a very profitable bull run. And while I am going to continue to hold the long-term projects that I believe in through the down cycle, I've begun to take, over the last few months, I've been taking profits on speculative coins, things that I entered. Now, I do have a few releases that are coming up over the next few months that I'm pretty excited about. And it's possible, again, that this wave continues. But my overall recommendations to individuals is that if you, when it comes to things that you're relatively uncertain about, you're the master of your own destiny, right? You can only do what you think is appropriate. But for a lot of individuals out there who are looking at some life-changing money that they've made in this bull market, it's never a bad time to begin taking profits and securing yourself, right? Securing yourself. Because here's the thing. Everybody gets caught up in this bull market euphoria, and everybody gets caught up in this, this greed of the bull market. And people begin comparing themselves to other individuals, and people are going to think this is their last chance to make $1 million or $1 billion or whatever their goal seems to be, or if it's just 10,000 or 100,000, whatever the goal happens to be. None of those individuals that are kind of rallying you on or talking about how rich you're going to become or telling you what gains are on the table or telling you what the market's going to do, none of those people are going to be there paying your bills at the end of the year. So if you have some relatively momentary life-changing money that you could use to secure yourself and your family that you weren't in a position to do before, it's kind of foolish to let that go to waste. Now, you don't have to exit all of your positions. You don't have to scorn crypto, but take care of yourself when the opportunity is on the table. Because if you don't have a firm foundation of being financially comfortable and secure, then it's very difficult to weather these ups and downs. This is why the largest institutions and the largest whales yield the largest profits, because they have the patience to let everything happen on their terms. They never have to act when it's not in their interest. And this is a disadvantage that the retail trader has, because often you are forced by all these forces that you can't control to act in a less favorable situation, to act with less information, to act with less speed. And so you just have to combat that the best that you can, right? With vigilance, with a good strategy, and with your head on your shoulders. So, okay, that's enough of the rant. Am I having a Bruce? Beckham08 says, lovely bounce of WAXP today. Same charts on THETA and VeChain pre-pump. Okay, THETA and VeChain. Did we find our trades for the day? Take a look at that in a second. Alex81SG, if we marry the USD demise theory, then shouldn't we all plan on getting out of any long-term holding altogether? No, I mean, it depends on your time horizon. I think that that something like a Tether implosion would likely cripple the market for 2 to 3 years. And so, yes, you absolutely can try to time that, right? exit the position here and plan on buying back. The problem with that is that timing the market is extremely impossible, right? It's not extremely impossible. It's extremely difficult. It's nearly impossible to do it consistently over and over and over again, because you get pushed into a position where, I mean, it sounds easy on paper, right? I'll just sell high and buy back lower, but you never know what is lower, right? Everybody's a genius in hindsight. Everybody's a genius, after the fact, telling you what they did, after they did it, right? And it happened to move in their favor, for example, right? After, nobody knew that 4,500 was the bottom. It just happened to be. Nobody knew that 65,000 was the top. It just happened to be. The only people who knew were Phil Potter. And, I am a long-term believer in cryptocurrency. And I have seen so many individuals lose their coins because they thought that they could outsmart the market. And so I choose not to make that mistake when it comes to Bitcoin or Ethereum, several other projects as well, things like Tezos, things like Blockstack. I will not lose my position. And so I'm focused less on the dollar value of that position. I focus more on preserving that position. And I'm relatively conservative with how I earn yields on those things. So, for example, I do stack my STX, my block stack, to earn rewards, and I find that very, very conservative. I don't have to give over access to my coins. I maintain ownership of my coins. I just give the authority. I just vest it. I just stack it, right? I delegate it to a pool. So I am not drinking a brewski, Crypto Caveman. I am drinking a Diet Coke. Kind of looks like a Coors Light, though, doesn't it? The mother of all black swan events, some exchanges out there would just go extinct. Yeah, they absolutely would. And, honestly, a lot probably need to. We can kind of get back to fundamentals. And I think that, is that going to hurt the bullish case for a little bit? Yes. But here's the thing, unfortunately, like US dollar tether has been used to create a bubble. And that bubble is going to pop. There's just no way around it. Tether is... Tether is the central bank of cryptocurrency. They just print the money. According to Tether's last update, they only have 3.87% of all deposits held in cash. That means of the 69 some billion, maybe it's 62, I think it's 69, of the 69 billion Tether that exist, I have to update this, it's probably larger, right? Of all the Tether that exists, they only have less than 4% cash in reserve. The rest is commercial paper, which for those of you who are unaware, commercial paper is debt, okay? So if this is starting to sound like the Lehman Brothers back in 2007, that's because it is. Tether is one of the largest investors worldwide in commercial paper, i.e. debt. So they are right up there with large banks and institutions. Let's see here. Shout outs to Sweet Canary. Right on Rice put his $100 in last week. When do I get my millions? Any word says my Star Atlas NFTs tripled in price in 2 weeks. Yeah, there's quite a lot of interest in that Star Atlas. It's probably certainly the best looking play to earn NFT game out there. Goblin Moblin, shout out to you, my friend. In a software engineering bootcamp. I am in a full stack developer bootcamp, actually. Dave Rice, good to see you, my friend. Okay. With that being said, we talked about Bitcoin. We just talked about Tether, one of our favorite things to do on this channel. Okay, let's go over and look at Ethereum, and then we'll start looking at the big movers of the day, and we'll get to the requests. And then we will take a look at that 5-minute strategy and let you guys play around with it a little bit. All right, so Ethereum USD on the daily time frame. Again, kind of that same thing that we saw from Bitcoin, with the exception of staying above the baseline. So Ethereum was, held up a little bit better on the dump, actually had a bigger push to the upside, swing failure pattern here. And then we weren't able to complete that swing failure pattern. However, one really shouldn't have been looking at that as one because we didn't actually close, below this low or below this close. So that would have been the impetus to take the swing failure pattern trade. Of course, had you actually been able to capture this on the lower time frames and you actually entered once price trade closed above, you had about an 11% profit opportunity. But you would have had to be quick with the draw because, of course, price did wick all the way back up and close with only a 2.33% drop from open to close on that day for Ethereum back on the 4th. We have pushed back up. We are at overhead resistance now on Ethereum. We actually wicked up there and are kind of on our way back down from current price. We've only got 2.25% up to our VWAP resistance. So barring a break of that, I'd actually be looking for a rejection here from Ethereum. And then we'll kind of see what happens should we stay above the baseline and get a close back above that level. That would be good to see. Otherwise, I would be targeting this area down here for Ethereum on the decline, 3,720. Don't have, let's actually go over here and see what. Yeah, so we can see this over here as well. Let's look at the FUSD. Yeah, so we actually switched. So we can see here on FUSD, we took that short at the exact same time. Again, taking that 4% profit here, and then price has switched and closed above the super trend indicator, and we are also beginning to trade above the DEMA. Now, this isn't a buy signal because this is not what has to generate. Price does have to be below the DEMA and then or simultaneously cross the super trend level. And this helps keep us out of false starts in the market, helps us stay out of chop. That's kind of specifically why this strategy works this way. But again, Ethereum being a little bit more bullish than Bitcoin here and actually signaling some positive momentum here. But again, we are back up here at resistance, so keep that in mind. So this is what I'd be expecting to see from Ethereum today. I would expect us to close anywhere from here to the VWAP resistance, and I would be looking for at the very least, a retest of this, depending on what Bitcoin does. So now, if that does happen, then I would be looking, I think that altcoins tend to follow along with Ethereum. So if that does happen, then I would be looking to book profits on your altcoins because likely pullbacks are in order on those. However, right, if I'm wrong, and this was the dip of all dips to buy up before the next push and wave higher, I'm okay with being a little late on that, right? Here on the daily time frame, we don't have positive momentum from Tether Explosion, so that is keeping us out of all these choppy trades. We can see Minx oscillating around the zero line, so again, that's keeping us out of these choppy trades. We can again see our volume indicator down here switching direction, i.e. switching and printing different colors, which is overall keeping us out of this chop. So I'm okay being a little late to the next run because if we do have a next successive wave here in the crypto markets, then there's going to be plenty of time to get into that. And the signal is going to come when it's going to come, and the gain is going to be nice when it comes. So that's all I'll say. And for now, I enjoy being conservative and kind of staying out of the chop because a lot of traders are getting chopped up right now that aren't just kind of aping into the altcoins that are doing relatively well. So we'll look at some potential setups for those as well. Let's see here. Shout outs to Verk, shout outs to Tomislav. My opinion of Algorand, just fundamentally, is I absolutely love Algorand. Algorand is one of my long-term holds. I have a video on this on our YouTube channel of me interviewing and speaking with Silvio Macaulay, the creator of Algorand, for an hour. A fantastic project. We're going to see it. We're already seeing it in a lot of institutional use grades where things require bank level security. It's going to be used in a lot of business-to-business applications. It's going to be used in infrastructure applications. It's going to be used in just places where because Algorand can be a private chain as well. It can be public and or private. It just depends. And they give you the ability to fork the code if you request so from the Algorand Foundation. So Algorand's a great project. I expect good things out of it. It's performed very well. It's been a top performer, not one of the best performers, but a good performer in my portfolio overall. And I'm very glad that I added it to my portfolio, and I have no information that would change my opinion on that right now. If we have time, we'll actually look at the chart, but I make no promises. I've already got quite a few requests on here. I apologize. So yeah, and Alice is pretty cool coin as well, Verk. Yes, I know less about Alice than I know about some of the other metaverse projects. But I did just recently. Alice was one of the last trades that we took, actually. Alice and MATIC. Okay, let's move on here to. Let's take a look at some of these top performers of the day. So we'll start off by looking at NEAR. So look at the NEAR protocol here on Binance, and let's just take. We can see our bottom feeder's done really well on NEAR as well, grabbing this trade here for the push up here, grabbing this trade for that, and then right now we have. What's interesting is this. So let's put on bar replay mode because I want to point out that bottom feeder just signaled the last 2 days in a row on NEAR USDT with a take profit level of 863. Okay, so both those trades have now completed successfully, I believe. Let's double check. Yeah, current price of NEAR is $8.90. It's switching relatively rapidly, but right around $8.95. We are looking at at hitting the baseline right here. Now, we do have another bottom feeder signal on today's candle. However, this is a candle size violation for me. I really don't like to enter on trades where we are larger than 2 times the average true range, or where we just have this outlier candle, because sometimes price will continue onwards. I do like to see this in Bitcoin, for example. But often, we'll see this kind of swift rejection from these levels. So it's so sporadic that I just tend to get hesitant in these areas of the market. But just to make the bullish case, if you wanted to enter the trade or you were already holding on to your position, your next take profit target is going to be up here at about $10.01. We don't have overhead resistance coming in until $10.77. However, keep in mind, I want to just point out the downtrend in NEAR right here. We have had successive lower lows, and as we can see here, we also have this local trend as well. So we have, let's see, no, okay. So we have lower lows, lower lows, lower low, lower low, and this is, excuse me, lower high, lower high, lower high, and this is still a lower high, and these are still lower lows. All right, so if this is exactly the moment we would expect, right around here, right around this price level is exactly the moment we would look for NEAR to fail. And this is a really good candle. This is a 17% candle on the daily. So if you did buy the dip on NEAR, this is absolutely where I would book the majority of my profits or start trailing my stop loss from a relatively aggressive area. Maybe 3%, 3% is going to get you hit. Maybe like 5% is where I'd start trailing my stop loss here on NEAR USDT. And then you can set that next take profit for 10.05. And we'll see if this thing does start to go off on this big tear. But so far, it's hard to put this out of the category of just reactionary push off the bottom. But I do like the volume and I do like the movement coming in today. If this thing can get above the baseline, come up here to these 10.05 to 10.77 level, and then come back and retest the baseline and start to push back up, we might actually have, a continuation of the bullish trend on our hands. But we won't know that until we see it. Okay. WAXP was another good mover today. Let's take a look at this. Sorry, guys, just looking in at my day trading. Let's see here. Okay, we got nothing here. Ooh, internet's being slow today. Trading View's being slow today. I mean, I've got gigabit speed. There we go. Buffering. Okay. Again, I know WAXP is a relatively popular coin. So let's just look and see what we got. Interestingly enough, look exactly where we stopped here. This is that auto VWAP indicator that I've been using relatively, that I've been using lately, and it's just great when it works. we can see here that not only did bottom feeder, here's the confluence here, not only did bottom feeder start going crazy right here, we can also see that right here at the auto VWAP line is absolutely where we stopped. And then just a beautiful move from WAXP yesterday. I think we were up 30, we did go up 60% on WAXP. Back up to this order block, interestingly enough, back up to this level of supply, back up to the rejection. And now this is on today's candle actually. So we've been sold off and we're looking like we're going to close at below. It was so silly to say. We're closing now. We're getting close to closing now in the vicinity of the baseline. So is there going to be a big volume on today's candle as well? Again, you guys know I'm just going to sound like this old crotchety grandpa, I know, but I'm just really wary because we are at the top of these markets. I know exactly what happens. And you're going to see pump and dump groups start coming out too as well. You know, lots of individuals will come in and they'll bid price up really rapidly because they're looking for their last chance to get out near market tops, right? And this is not the time to start building a long-term portfolio when we're in the late stage of the bull market. This is the time to be taking profits and trying to take advantage of these opportunities. Don't let greed kind of get sucked up into your head. Look to book profits in areas where, you know, it makes sense, where you're getting out near the top, and just be happy with it, right? Be patient, play the long game. You're a hyper. Okay. That was interesting. Let's go over to let's take a look at MATIC. I know MATIC was requested by Joe, so let's take a look at MATIC, man. Yeah, MATIC doing well. MATIC continuing on in its tear here. We are closing and trading above the previous high that we formed, and before that, above that. So again, all the conditions here for bullish trend are in order. We had the long signal on this bad boy right here on this candle, on this red candle actually. So we close above the baseline, as you guys can see. We put in a green Wadatar explosion column with a rising explosion level, green volume bar, and Minx does cross the zero line right there, letting us know that it is time to go. We would have set our stop loss at 1.5 ATR, which I'm going to assume is somewhere down here. So this actually wouldn't have triggered it. And then I'm sure we would have hit. So two things here. Two things. We would have likely hit our first take profit on this movement up. And then this would have stopped us out at break even on this dump. We could have entered on the next, we could have entered on this candle right here. Because we can see that Wadatar does cross and close back above the explosion level, which would be considered a continuation signal. I'm not using the sensitive settings for Minx, which is the default settings for Minx. So I don't have a continuation long signal here. However, I'm sure that, let's just change this. Yeah, continuation long, Minx did generate a continuation long signal yesterday. So continuation long signal yesterday and up 9% for that position. Let's set this to just set it to the 60 EMA. There we go. So yeah, long here, long signal here, long signal here, and continuation long signal on this candle as well. That's some pretty weak volume for a pump. Oh, I missed that one, unfortunately. This movement's going to fail. Push back down. All right, let's get back over here. MATIC looks good. Let's take a look at. Yeah, you know, we've got the market highs for MATIC up here at 2704. So that's where I would be looking to take the next portions of profits out. Because if we get above that, we've got a blue sky breakout, and then the only thing we can do is use something like Fibonacci targets. Or we do what I like to do, which is called the hold on to your hats, let's roll, and trail that stop, baby. Okay, let's check out Cadena. This was a request from Anthony. Okay, so Cadena is looking very similar to WAXP right before its big move. Cadena's been in this downtrend for quite a while, since the middle of November, and we've just now hit, as you guys can see, here's bottom feeder going crazy on Cadena, and we have now hit the auto VWAP level as well. So this is a really good setup in my opinion. I'm adding Cadena to my watch list. Yeah, so this looks like a good entry on Cadena. We see bottom feeder is indicating a take profit of $14, and that's going to be a juicy 25% trade from where we're currently at. So you're welcome, guys. Link. Not the clean setup that I wanted to see, not like Cadena just provided us. Chainlink did drop all the way down here to this previous level of market support, so the reaction isn't crazy, isn't unexpected. Bottom feeder did take this Chainlink signal, actually. You guys can go look in the Discord. Yeah, let's see. Just last night, bottom feeder took Bitcoin, Litecoin, EOS, Link, BNB, Ethereum Classic, Bcash, and VeChain. So we are already in on that VeChain, bro. So yeah, let's see here. Don't have too much for Link. We do, again, the only overhead resistance level that we have is going to be basically right here at the baseline, $28.05, which is still about 18 to 19% up from here. So barring a failure, I could see us continuing to push up. One other level actually to kind of keep our eyes on is right here, this order block around $24, which on the other hand is only about 5% above price, because this is where current, the most recent level of supply is. If we look at something like VPVR, yeah, so VPVR is confirming this as well. Where's the point of control? So should we test the point of control from below? Then that's directly where our baseline is, and directly where the auto VWAP level is as well. But as you guys can see, we kind of dumped down into these low volume nodes, and we're just now coming up to the 70% value area. Okay, so this is where the most volume is. This is where trapped buyers are, and I would be wary of them using this opportunity to get out. So if you bought the dip, I would take some profits here, and then I would take a little bit more off here at the $24 mark, and then look to get out and maybe even enter into a short around that $26, $27 mark area. Let's see here. Next request came from VOH. Let's I don't think I'm familiar with. Yeah. So Miss or Mr. Charlotte Kennedy, you will have to let me know in the chat if you want the stock BOH or if you want if this is some crypto that I need to look on DEX tools for. Until then, let's go take a look at Atom. Let's look at Cosmos. All right. Okay, so Cosmos, again, down here at support at the auto VWAP level. Bottom feeder had a failure here. Bottom feeder caught a good trade here. Bottom feeder is no longer signaling. We actually had the take profit on the short signal right here. So the only thing I see potentially on the table for Cosmos is a reversion to the mean trade back up to the baseline. So that is a 22.94% trade. Let me... Yeah, I'm just not really seeing what I want to see here from Cosmos. You know, listen, there is a little bit of there's a little bull div. A little bull div. All right. So we can see price making lower lows and our oscillator making a higher high. Let's see if we see this with the QQE mod. Yeah. So a little bit of bullish divergence there on the QQE mod as well as on Minx. So again, that can be a strengthening factor as well. Again, bottom feeder's not quite firing here, but that's okay. Doesn't catch all the bottoms, just most of them. Just most of them. So if we were entering into Cosmos here, and I like Cosmos, it's a good project, but you know, be looking for, I would be relatively conservative here, maybe book some profits here at this level of supply that we've now crashed back down below. So look for about a $26 to $27 profit target for the first portion of your trade. And then if that's good, update that stop loss to break even. Let that trade run up here to the $29 to $30 level. Try to tap that baseline. And then I just step aside and wait. Okay. We already looked at MATIC. All right, let's take a look at THETA and VeChain are going to round out our requests for today. Individuals saying they looked like WAXP right before the pop. You know, the only difference, if we go back and look at WAXP, right? You know, one thing is WAXP, like, not only do we have less data, but WAXP was on a huge tear, big, like almost vertical correction directly below the baseline, and then big pump back up. And where did we stop? We stopped at the overhead supply, right? So this is the trap buyers who bought up here, use that opportunity to get out. So now if we go back and look at THETA, we see a different story, right? THETA wasn't on this absolute tear. THETA has been sideways and consolidating in a downtrend since April. All right, we've had some mini trends in there, right? THETA pushed up here 152%. THETA pushed up here 84%. Bottom feeder is signaling for the buy here. And so you would have gotten an entry here, excuse me, here and here. And so you've got an average entry of around 4872. And this is taking price up to $5.58 on THETA. So this looks good. It does look like we're going to hit that $5.58 target. Stop loss currently at 357. Again, you can book 50% there or all profits there. We do have upside resistance up here from $5.92 to the $6.29 area. So that's where I would be. That's where I would be setting the second portion of the take profit. Or if you just want to disregard this first take profit level at the expense of less chance of your trade hitting, you could target this area here as well. So I'm not expecting the WAXP movement here from THETA, actually. VeChain. Now, VeChain is a little bit more WAXP-ish here. We've been, again, kind of different, though. April and not like this. This is just more pronounced sideways consolidation, a quicker ascent to the downside. But we've also had a little bit more sluggish movement here. Now, good thing is this bottom feeder is signaling here for this particular trade setup. And again, bottom feeder's taking us up 15% to 0.10755. And then we do have, again, overhead resistance coming in from the baseline at 0.12391. So again, that's a relatively safe trade on the table there for a reversal to take price back up while the market is moving as well. Stop loss at 0.0721. But, am I kind of expecting to see the WAXP maneuver from VeChain or THETA? I'm not. The charts look different. And also, WAXP is just hotter right now. So it's not surprising that it made that larger outsized movement. Christian Zealodon. Prodigy Defender says, is the Polygon network down? Can't seem to process any transactions on QuickSwap. I'm afraid I am not very sure, my friend. Christian Zealodon asks, what would be a good buy zone or strong support for the EMAN ticker stock? Thanks. So EMAN. This is a tricky one, my friend. So if we zoom out on this EMAN, this Imagine Corporation, what we can see, and let me just get this a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so this thing has gone on 1, 2, 3 good tears in its time. First one going up over 1,659%. Second one going over almost 1,000%, and this most recent one, 700%. And you can just see like what happens following that, right? Like it gets cashed out and it drifts all the way back down. Price drifted all the way down here from. Just keep this in mind. Price on this asset was at $37.85 a share, and it drifted all the way down to 10 cents a share, where it popped up 1,000%, drifted all the way back down to 10 cents a share, and popped back up again. And look, we just popped up 700%. Like I don't see this going up anytime soon, in a sustained and consistent way. Now, like we can trade this obviously, there's, like, look, there's all these kinds of, there's a 76% move, right? There's definitely maneuvers here. And we did, I guess if you want to look at this, we did come back down to this previous weekly level of support. So, you could be looking for a conservative, like 50 to 60% trade out of this thing. But honestly, your best bet for this is waiting until 10 to 20 cents again. And just kind of forgetting about it, because this thing seems to repeat a predictable pattern. So the answer to your question, I'll lay out two cases, right? What did we just touch? We did just touch a relatively decent level of support. Even though I'm gonna put support weak here, we can see this acts as the bottom of the market here, acts as the bottom here. We break, test, it acts as resistance here, and then we actually get the last half of that leg up. We've now come back down to that level. All right, so that's around $1.63. $1.25, excuse me. Now, what is the next resistance level coming in off the tops here? Let's find out. It's about 30% to the upside, around $2.15. That's also, as you'll note, where support was right here. And where support was right here, I now expect that to act as resistance. Okay, so a trade from 163 to 215 is a 32.67% trade. So that's the trade that I see on the table. I would not get involved with like short selling this, because I don't like to short sell a liquid bullshit stocks, but that's the trade that I would be in here, is the short back down to the 10 to 20 cents. Good luck getting anybody to loan you those shares though. So that's what I see for EMAN, my friend. All right, guys, that's going to conclude. Oh yeah, no. We did say that we were going to look at this LTF strategy. Okay, so let's take a look at this LTF strategy. Hold on a second. So I just took a short here on BTC USD. Let's talk about this this strategy that I came across and have modified a little bit. It's called the VWAP bounce, or the double bounce. It takes two. So I'm working on writing this as a custom program so I can automate these signals and trade this automatically. But if you want to manually trade this, here's how it works. It's going to take 5 free TradingView indicators. The first indicator, so we'll just go over this one by one. Okay. So the first indicator that you're going to need is going to be the VWAP. Just the built-in VWAP is going to be just fine. The settings, we're going to leave completely the same, totally fine. The second indicator you're going to need is going to be another VWAP. Okay, the built-in's just fine. And for this one, you just want to change the bands multiplier to 2. Okay, and this is going to give you instead of just your VWAP and one layer of standard deviation bands, you're going to get 2 standard deviation bands too. So you need 2 VWAPs. Next indicator you're going to need is the trading session indicator. Okay, this is going to highlight areas of the market based on what time you set. And in here in the settings, you want to change this from 2100 to 3. Okay. And so what I want you to note is why we do that. So the VWAP resets at daily close every day. Okay. So as you can see, the VWAP right here, VWAPs can, going along relatively normal, and then it just absolutely collapses, right? And then it takes some time for that VWAP to reestablish. So what this says is that we don't want to take any trades in the 4-hour window before or after the VWAP reset. So basically, this is kind of nice how it fits in with my trading style, because I'm actually looking to enter like swing positions at the daily close. And this would have me sitting in front of the charts and kind of trading more actively at a time when I'm not going to be putting on those positions, because I'm not actually, this strategy doesn't really want you to trade like that. Now, I actually have my candles being colored based on, well, so it will if I enable it here. Interesting that it's not doing that. Okay. Anyways, the next thing that you're going to want to do is this is, I actually had this, I'm still playing around with the code, so now for some reason my white colors aren't working, but normally I have the, if the Heikin-Ashi bar is green, my candle is white. If the Heikin-Ashi bar is red, my candle's black. But what you want to do in lieu of that is slap on Heikin-Ashi. Okay. Now what you're looking for, this is how you trade this. You wait until a candle touches or closes below the lower VWAP band. And then once that happens, you wait for a green Heikin-Ashi candle to print above that lower VWAP band. And that's when you enter the trade. Okay. So we want a red Heikin-Ashi bar to touch or close below the lower band. And once it does that, we're just waiting for the first green candle. Okay. And then you enter into a trade. Once that candle closes, you set your stop loss at the swing low, or you can use Quadriga or whatever you like. And you target 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay. Other things that you can do is you can target 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio with 50% of your position, take that profit, move your stop loss to break even, and then target 2-to-1. You can just use Quadriga, for example. Using the swing low is going to, on average, give you larger position sizes. So this is a higher risk, higher return strategy. And as you can see, for this actual trade, we would have been stopped out for this first trade. Success rates I've had on this is about 65%. This is after taking about 50 trades personally and back testing it on a couple hundred. So not bad results. Obviously, that's why I'm automating it. It tends to work very well. Works very well in choppy areas of the market, works fantastically in range-bound markets and chop. And it doesn't actually do terrible in trending markets. It's just you will have more losses when price is trending quite strongly. Okay, so let's look at our second example here. Here we can see this bar right here, and you can actually see I've got arrows plotting. So this is like the trigger condition pre. This is how I'm programming it all up. Touches the lower band, and then right here on this candle is going to be our entry candle. So for this example, we would enter a trade. Actually, that's a short position. We want a long position. Enter the trade right here. Set our stop loss below the swing low, which is exactly where it's at. Target 1-to-1, and we would hit that target right here on this candle. Alternatively, we could have booked 50% there, or at that point in time, moved our stop loss to break even, and then targeted 2-to-1. And we see we would have hit that as well. Now, the rules for taking the short, which is actually the trades that I took today, are exactly the same. We want a green bar to touch or close above the upper VWAP band. And then we wait for the first red Heikin-Ashi bar to print below the upper VWAP band. So right here, boom, this is the trade that I took this morning. So just to show you guys, like I said, I've taken 2 trades this morning. So set your stop loss at the swing high and target 1-to-1. Boom. As you guys can see, I hit my profit target relatively quickly. And then I actually went ahead and moved my stop loss to break even and targeted 2-to-1. Not only did I do that, I also took this trade here. So this is if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, right? So not only did I target 2-to-1 and hit that successfully, I entered into a subsequent trade after I saw this. I saw very similar. I saw a green bar touch the upper boundary here. Not the top VWAP line, but the middle VWAP line. not the VWAP, but the middle VWAP line. So 1 standard deviation above the VWAP. And then I waited for a red bar to close, which happened right here. And then I took the trade to 1-to-1. And then that's exactly the setup that I just saw right here, right? As I just happened to look over at this chart, I saw green band touch and red bar close. And so now we are in that trade. So, all right, see if we can, these are just let you guys know how I do things. These are 1 BTC positions. So on average, with a 1% stop. So this is one decent way to think about this, right? If you're making a day trading account, okay, put an amount in there if you're starting off the test that you're okay losing, right? And I think a good way to do this, like take it this what you will, right? But this is just what I've done in the past, right? So let's say you put $1,000 into your $1,000 into your day trading account that you want to experiment with lower time frames on. If you use 5x leverage, that means you're going to be able to take a $5,000 position size per trade. And on a time frame like the 5-minute, your stop loss is usually going to be anywhere from 0.5% to 1% away from you. So if you're using 5x leverage, right, with your $1,000, and you set a 1% stop loss, that means that if your stop loss gets hit, you're going to lose 5% of your account. Okay, so you can make a mistake 20 times, right? You have 20 potential trades to blow out your account, essentially, right? Now, keep that in mind. If price moves 1%, you make 5% of your account. Okay, so this is the way to take calculated risk. This is, so you never want to, throw all your money into your day trading account. If you are interested in proceeding with that and trading lower timeframes, you want to experiment with smaller amounts, potentially with no leverage. But I'm just letting you guys know that, if you have to be aware that you're training and preparing for something, and it's not going to be very exciting, right? I find that if you take a nominal amount of money and apply 5x leverage to it, you're still staying within your risk tolerance, and it becomes a little bit more engaging, and you're more likely to stay with it if you actually feel like you're making something. So. Okay. So with that being said, so you guys can do the math, right? I'm doing a 1 Bitcoin positions here, which means I only had to deposit $10,000 into my day trading account here at 5x leverage, gives me a $50,000 position size per trade. If price moves against me 1%, I lose $500. If price moves in my favor 1%, I make $500. So pretty good for range bound markets. Strategy has done well, and again, this is one that I'm going to be automating not only for myself but also for the members as well. So. It's a little tricky though. This is a little different from my, this is certainly different from my, my normal strategies. And this is a little complicated to program. I'm not going to lie. So, shout outs to the Pine coders out there. Anybody who wants to assist me with coding up some strategies in Pine is welcome to get a hold of me in the Discord. I would certainly appreciate the help. And yeah, that's what we got going. I only need 1 good WAP. Okay, let's scroll back over here. Yeah, let's hope this trade goes well, guys. Ooh, I don't have my hotkeys. Cool. All right, well, that's going to about wrap it up for today's show, guys. We've got a mentoring session here. So premium subscribers, we do have a mentoring session here coming up relatively soon. In that session, I made an announcement in the Discord. So we're going to be talking about hedging. We're going to be talking about where we're at in the current market phase. We're going to be talking about trading strategies. We're going to take chart requests and setups and stuff. And we're also going to be talking about building healthy habits for trading and psychological discipline. So always love the mentoring sessions. Great group of guys that come in there. If you guys are premium members and you haven't checked out the mentoring sessions yet, I highly encourage you to do that. And if you guys aren't premium members at all, I highly encourage you to check that out as well and see if it's a right fit for your risk tolerance and for where you're at as a trader and investor. As always, my name is Justin Wise. Thank you for joining the Cracking Cryptocurrency Show. If you guys have any questions, comments, sarcastic remarks, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, hot stock tips, and or death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below, or hop in the Discord at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com to join our live free community. and engage with us there. Links are all in the description down below. Yeah, that pretty much covers it, guys. We will be back tomorrow with another episode of the CC Show at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on DLive, on Twitch, on the tubes. And as always, trade safely, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.